Alright, hey guys, how's it going? So I just watched the fourth Matrix trailer, which just came out a few moments ago at the time of recording this. And I don't do trailer reactions mostly because my face remains neutral when I when I watch a trailer. So what I do usually is I'll watch the trailer, watch it again, let it marinate in my brain, and then list out my thoughts. And I have my thoughts listed out here on the whiteboard. And let's go through them because I actually have some mixed feelings about this. It wasn't an awful trailer per se. It wasn't a brilliant trailer. It was just middle tier trailer. First of all, the first thing I liked was the visuals. That's something to be expected with a Matrix movie. Every Matrix movie, regardless of its quality, does have some cutting edge visual effects. The only problem when it comes to the visual effects, though, is that you're never going to be as groundbreaking as the first Matrix. The first Matrix came out, and computer generated visual effects weren't that big at the time, and the leap that went from previous movies to the first Matrix is such a huge leap that you're never going to pass that. It's almost like video game consoles. When you look at the jump from N64 to GameCube, such a huge leap. Or when you see the jump from PS2 to PS3, such a huge leap. But the further we go in time, the smaller the leaps are going to be. The jump from PS5 to PS6 is not going to be all that big, in my opinion. Uh, the jump from PS2 to PS3 was bigger than the jump from PS3 to PS4 and PS4 to PS5. Enough talking about consoles. Let's jump into Keanu. Everyone loves Keanu. He's the talk of the town. Everyone loves him. And when the first Matrix came out, he was pretty popular. He had Bill and Ted. And after that, he kind of became a meme in the bad sense. His acting was poor in a few movies. He did a couple of stinkers, like the remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still, which is probably one of the worst remakes. One of the worst remakes ever made, ladies and gentlemen. Do not watch that movie. But anyway, he's done a couple of flops, and not only that, his acting has been wooden in the past, but I feel like directors started utilizing Keanu Reeves in a good way, playing up to his skills and hiding his flaws. John Wick is a character that doesn't require much grandiose acting. Keanu Reeves, his acting is a little more muted and subdued, so people are starting to catch on to that and start casting Keanu in appropriate roles. So this movie is going to be fun to see during the Keanu Reeves-essence, if that's a word. I just came up with it. Next is the music, and that's usually something I hate in trailers, when they'll use like a famous song and they'll like make it like an epic version of it. In this movie, they're playing the song White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane, which is a psychedelic rock classic, but it also alludes to the fact that this movie is basically taking you down the rabbit hole. I thought it was clever, but not only that, I thought the music got really clever when they started mixing the song White Rabbit mixed with the soundtrack of The Matrix, and they kind of intermingled with one another pretty cleverly. In my opinion, anyway. I'm a bit of a music geek, so whatever. Then we get into the negatives, okay? The first thing that I noticed about this trailer was the color grading. The color grading is very different from the first Matrix movie. In the first Matrix movie, a lot of dirty green colors going on. Keanu Reeves, his skin in that movie is like a yucky green. Then once they go in the Matrix, it becomes more blues. And that's the first thing I noticed about this movie. The color grading is a little off. It kind of feels like I'm watching a TV movie. And I feel like it's such a small thing, but I feel like I was reading the comments of the trailer, and people are like, it just feels a little phony. It doesn't feel like The Matrix. And I think that's a huge component that has to do with it. And I think that the director, Lana Wachowski, probably thought that color grading is a little outdated and belongs in the 90s, but I don't think so at all. I think that the color grading of the first Matrix movie is actually cleverly done, and it's unfortunate that that's something they decided to drop in this Matrix movie. Then I wrote B, Morpheus. I don't know what was up with Morpheus in this trailer. He just didn't feel like Morpheus. I don't know why. the original actor Lawrence Fishburne can return to this. Maybe it is Lawrence Fishburne and they're doing some weird CG de-aging. I can never tell these days. It just felt phony. Whether, I don't know how, it just did. It doesn't feel right, and Morpheus is the heart of the first few Matrix movies, so it's a kind of a shame that he's not quite the same in this movie. Story not present in the trailer. What is this movie about? It's something that I also complained about in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer. Like, what is this movie about? What is the mission? In Spider-Man Far From Home, I know that Peter Parker wanted to erase the past so he can, like, make people forget that he is Peter Parker. I get that, but what is the movie about? And same thing here. Okay, I understand The Matrix. I saw the first few movies. Why are we returning to this world? Why is this a story that needs to be told? This movie failed at doing that, in my opinion. So no hype in that regards. Lastly, and I think this is the most important one, this and the color grading are the two key ones to me. And that's the anime influence. So, when the first Matrix came out, one thing that people fail to realize is how influenced by the anime genre the first few Matrix movies were. They were straight copies of animes. The Wachowski siblings were heavily influenced by anime when they did that movie. And look, I'm not even the biggest anime fan. I'll even say anime is one of those genres I just can't get behind. I've tried numerous times, I've tried watching anime. It just isn't for me, okay? I'm just gonna put that disclaimer out there. However, the anime genre has really evolved since that first Matrix movie. You have movies coming out in theaters like Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, during this pandemic era, is one of the highest grossing movies of the pandemic. Demon Slayer. So you can tell the genre of anime has evolved so much and it's grown such a following, even since the 90s. I see more and more people just digging anime and it's becoming a huge thing on Reddit and 4chan and all of these social media platforms. People are just digging anime. And this movie kind of lost its anime influence, I find. Not only that, but the anime genre has grown and evolved so much, and this film seems to have failed at keeping up with that. And I think that's the biggest problem. Every anime that's come out, even if it's a genre I can't really get behind and I don't really enjoy, I do acknowledge that it gets pretty cutting edge at times. And while my friend has shown me some anime and I don't really dig it, I do acknowledge that, wow, they're really trying some crazy shit in this. And, like, they're really going for it. And they really are pushing some boundaries here. That's not what this Matrix movie is doing. The Matrix pushed the genre of anime. Sure, it's a live-action movie. But the new Matrix is not really doing that. And I think that's the thing with me. It's like, that and the color grading is what really makes this feel like average blockbuster as compared to The Matrix. Now, it's just a 2-minute snippet of it. Whatever. This is a minor nitpick. I didn't even put it on the board, by the way. I wanted Keanu Reeves to have short hair. To me, long hair Keanu Reeves is John Wick. Short hair Keanu Reeves is Neo. That's just how I classify it in my brain. That's a nitpick. But yeah, overall, I'm cautiously optimistic. A little like my Spider-Man thoughts. I'm just like, guys, let's not get too excited yet. It's probably not going to be that good, but there is that chance, you know? Anyway, that's all I had to say. Hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts. And stick around, more shit to come.